What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, just woke up.
Mad interesting to me. I was about to go to sleep and this just woke me up.
Very strong words, and I think that a lot of this has to do with practice, and then if they weren't trying to overload, like dealing with too many people in jail, that okay, if they don't show up for court, then you go through the processes. If you catch them on the street, then yeah, you take them in. But otherwise, like they just got to you got to let them go. I mean, it's really not that hard.
It's so much bureaucracy. I think that it's a lot of the stuff is just not thought out. Like it's so robotic and computerized. Like I saw a clip on Instagram earlier where it was this guy. He was handcuffed, but one of his arms was like had been removed. His arm only came down to about his elbow. So they had one handcuffed on one of his arms, and that was it. And the other cuff wasn't to nothing.
Why?
That's my point. Like, at some point, your procedure, needs to be adjusted based on the present circumstances, right? Like, at some point, you need to use your brain and be like, okay, the book says this. The book don't say nothing about this. I need to use my own common sense and you know but that's what I'm saying this system is lacking. She said, how are they going to defend, how can we trust them with our safety in the community when we can't even trust them,
Within the
with our
jail, so they,
safety in their
yeah,
custody.
yeah, with that, yeah. But I mean, that's something that I think the question arises even before this conversation, because I mean, there's a lot of things that's happening within our neighborhoods and within the communities. Regardless if we're talking about
Yeah, because
using.
look, wait, I wanted to say this, that recently it was these two girls died. It was a cop chasing in a car. What was it? For whatever reason, I can't remember the reason why he was chasing the car, but he sped through an intersection um, without slowing down enough, apparently, because it was two girls coming through the light. They had a green light, and they hit them, and they killed those two girls. And this has been on the news. They kind of been making a big deal out of it. And so, but what I'm saying is, like, this is a part of our procedures that are dangerous, and it shouldn't be done that way. It's like, okay, they're like a lot of the comments underneath it was all saying, well, they should have heard the lights or they should have heard the siren or
But what if
whatever.
they're deaf? What I mean, just
Well,
what if? Just what
that's
if?
that's beside the point. If you're coming through your own green light at a even within the speed limit, and then the other car is coming through the light from a different direction, probably above the speed limit, this is going to happen like that. You can't really protect yourself from that. If you was pulling out of the intersection and you're moving slowly, maybe you have a chance to see. But if you was just coming down the road, you had a gone green, solid green, and had light haven't just changed. Solid green, you're coming down the road
Hmm.
around the speed limit. You ain't gonna see a car flying through the light red at a high speed. You're never even gonna see them until they hit you.
No, I hear you, but I mean, well, I was just adding on to that because I mean, you're right. I mean, in that situation, it's going to be hard for somebody to respond because the average person is not taught how to respond to emergency situations that way. Just okay, try to get out of the way, but I mean,
No, there's no response to a T-bone, man.
Yeah.
You
There
you
ain't.
you can't make a T-bone better.
well, see, but I mean, like me as a truck driver, I always say that I mean, because I am the professional, I have to be the one to be more prepared for situations than the average person. So, the following distances, different things that come into play. I make sure that I follow those things because I do know the difference that it makes, the seconds in between, response and this, that, and the other. But, I think that overall we're really looking at, where we're promoting, not us as the people, but we're allowing government entities to push policies, police states, this police state so much to where it's not even, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense for anybody really. Like for a lot of them, I know that, death of, a death really means nothing to them unless it's a cop that dies.
What we ultimately have right now going on is a whole bunch of laws, litigation, and pandering to the public going on by people that don't know the subject that they're trying to make laws about.
Well, and that's very true.
They're trying to make laws about truck driving and this. Oh, it's this and that. But how many of them actually have talked to truck drivers who understand some of these problems? No, it's not the truck drivers. It's people not respecting the freaking 18 tons of solid friggin' metal that ain't gonna slow down.
Yeah,
on a fucking dime.
Most accidents happen because of what we call four-wheelers. We call the cars four-wheelers, and it's mostly due to them. I mean, of course, there's times where bad weather or something like that happens, but
shit happens.
Yeah, but for the most part,
bad drivers happen.
Yes,
and there are some damn bad truck drivers.
But they exist too, because I mean, some of them take on the same thing, type of mindset that when they're driving their cars. So I mean, all that stuff exists. But my thing is that I think that because of what we're seeing, with this whole, we're talking about jailing people for long times, people being in there that shouldn't be in there. I mean, like all these different elements that we're seeing that can decay even more is because of not just insensitivity. It's just that they're improper training and trying to exceed, like trying to, because like a lot of it has to do with them keeping their budget. So they have to keep this certain amount of people because they don't want their budget to go down. They want it to go up. So they need to always show a reason why they need more.
Yeah.
And our citizens that has done very small crimes end up paying for it.
And it just shows the callousness of the system. But in more than one way, they paying for it with blood or however you want to say it. But the taxes, and then experience some the ones that actually have that lived experience of.
I gotta point out a quick thing that I'm seeing in a political correctness kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. The fourth link you've got on there: taco shop customer fatally shoots armed robber. That's KPRC. That is local Click 2 Houston. When I saw that video like 4 or 5 hours ago, like before I left work, it said Taqueria. I thought that was an interesting difference between my feed and your feed, or
maybe they changed the title. They probably changed the title.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's interesting.
But to be fair, who in Iowa knows what a taqueria is, but would be able to understand taco shop?
A taco shop just sounds really weird. Like, who says that?
Because we live here, Yeah. I mean, that's like hearing them people say quesadilla.
Yeah, I've never seen on the side of a truck or building saying taco shop. I've never seen that before, ever.
I have on taco trucks.
Yeah, taco truck.
I've seen taco trucks named El Taco Chapo and stuff like
Oh.
that.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I've seen that. Let me play this really quickly. This because we mentioned it. The girls, the let me
A
play it.
policeman had an accident with somebody.
This short clip of video posted to social media captured the aftermath and extreme impact after an Addis police officer slammed into a car
That's Louisiana.
with 3 people. 2 teen girls died in the car. Another person in the back seat is in the hospital.
So I'm assuming they knew who he was.
Scott Kurji has decades of law enforcement experience. He's a lawyer now and helps some agencies write their pursuit policies.
Louisiana law allows police officers to speed while they're in pursuit of a suspected violator of the law. It also allows them to run red lights while in pursuit of a violator of the law. But the law also narrows that down and says the police have to slow or stop as necessary for safe operation. If the officer, in fact, did not use his brakes and was going over 80 miles an hour into an intersection facing a red light, he probably isn't compliant with the statute that allows him to engage in those activities.
Kurji says what's
called
most concerning in this case is Addis continued the pursuit. After the original agency, Baton Rouge Police, pulled off of it. He believes at that point the officer should have evaluated the risk to public safety that the chase might have.
It's very concerning. I think we look at any pursuit situation or any law enforcement action, and we weigh the value of the government interest compared to the risk to the public. And in this situation, there's a lot of unknown facts at this point, but the government interest seems to have been way less than the risk to the public, as was shown by the outcome of this case.
So, and that's the point I be trying to make all the time. And you know, it's like I say, like if a hammer is what you use, then everything is a nail. You know,
But see, and that's the thing.
In other words, if it ain't an OJ chase, don't worry about it.
I mean,
Don't take the
look, we
chance.
live in the future. We have freaking CCTVs everywhere. We got video. They can send a drone. Once you get his license plate number or whatever, where else he probably going home? Go pick him up when he gets to his house. Like, come on. Why we have this archaic way of doing things?
What was he locked on and established at that time, or were they still waiting on that to happen?
I don't know the details of that. So, but I'm just saying overall.
Well, that is important to your argument in this case.
Overall,
yeah, I personally have always had some problems with high speed chases and stuff like that, especially in populated areas.
Well, I think that a lot of times they allow these people to have this cowboy and Indian syndrome.
Yeah.
Where they don't allow, like there's in their mind, they're not thinking about anybody else. Oh, they about to get this motherfucker.
Yeah. That's it.
That's all they're thinking about. And
but you know what? Look,
your children
another thing
in the back seat, they don't care, like it's insane, bro. Like
news copters and shit like that should not be allowed to broadcast live chases and shit like that. They should not be allowed to broadcast that shit until after they're apprehended, because by doing it, they're giving them more incentive. They're making them, I'm the next freaking, I'm going to be this anti-hero, whatever. And that escalates it too, the way the media handles things.
Yeah, because they're making money off of it. They're making money off the clicks. And that's probably this. And also that reinvigorates and gives a reason for the cops to even do it in the first place again. Just like it's justifying the criminal, it's justifying the cops too.
Posted some manifesto or something like that.
It's re-justifying both sides, because then after the fact, we can make some clips and we can make some clicks off of this. We could be famous, because even the police department can be like, shit, we famous. some random little in the middle of some small town somewhere.
Yeah, that's the last place I lived in Louisiana before I moved to Texas.
That's interesting. Let me read this. It says Louisiana officer charged after teens killed in police chase. In this police department, officer is being charged with negligent homicide and negligent injury after 2 teens were killed and another was injured in a crash. That was the caption.
Teens. Like, I mean, you know, like, I try not to get too personal about different stuff, but I mean, a lot of times it just makes me think, okay, if, you know, my son is in a car with somebody and they, you know, like, if that happened to my family member, I don't really give a damn what they was chasing these people about. Like, bro, you didn't do what, you know, you trying to catch a criminal, but you forgot about the rest of us, like the law-abiding citizens that's just living, and now that, like, some of them are gone because of your negligence. No,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, man. It's horrible. My mom she got hit by a cop, and it totaled out her car, and then it took them forever to get the money. I don't know if they ever got it. Honestly, I think they did, but it was like years and years later.
Yeah.
Because the cops were in the wrong, and the insurance, all that shit was just a mess. It was like a whole red tape nightmare for them for years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's I mean, there's new things I've been learning about law that can happen, like when they're cops doing things against their, you know, things that they shouldn't be doing, on how to reprimand them almost immediately.
Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT.
I got this.
From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots
It
fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We need
shot. It
back
had
up
to be.
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We
the
got a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit.